You are listening to Paper and Vices. This is your mature content warning.
Really hope people don't ever start to expect expectations from that. Like, this is not fresh air. We just say fuck a lot. Hello! Happy January. Happy post-inauguration. Happy failed coup d'etat. Happy. Welcome.
Happy.
We have made it.
We have. Somehow, we made it.
I have my favorite hoodie. I have my favorite skeleton socks. I just lit my Terracin Forest candle from the librarian box. It's going.
Ooh.
There's glitter. I'm vibing.
Is there glitter in the candle or just around you?
There's glitter on top of the candle.
That is really cool.
It's very pretty.
Yeah. I feel like once glitter is opened, it's everywhere.
I was looking at a craft kit in the Target dollar spot today because I actually went to Target in person.
Yay!
I know. I came home with a bunch of shit I didn't need. Who knew? Who'd have thunk?
Surprise!
And they have a craft kit in the dollar spot that is a Valentine's Day craft kit. And I don't even know exactly what the craft was, but one of the components is just 3 little sealed baggies of very fine, loose glitter. And I thought bringing it home would probably be a very good way to get thrown into marriage counseling. So, yeah, didn't do that. But I was just like, who hates parents quite that much? I have questions.
And it probably wasn't even $1. It was probably 3. I feel like they trick you that way. Or 5.
Yeah. And then, like, with all the vast knowledge that we have now, I have to be like, are those microplastics? Which, of course, they are. It's the dollar spot. Of course, they're microplastics. Do not ingest. May cause birth defects. But, like, it's great that we care so much now, but also, we care so much now.
Yeah.
Like, it's good and it's important. But when our parents were adults in the 80s, and when our grandparents were adults in the 50s and 60s, they did not have to adult on the level of giving a shit about microplastics.
No.
No.
Which is probably why we are where we're now. But
explains a lot of the 1950s Christmas decorations, honestly.
It does. I admit, okay, so speaking of, it's totally off topic, but now that we're talking about plastics. Do you remember the tinsel that you used to put on the tree that was just this like long strand of like silver plastic?
Like, yeah. Yes.
And I remember like yeah. And shit would get everywhere. But It was like the best part of decorating the tree, and I miss it. I understand why we don't have it anymore, but I miss it.
I totally get it, but yeah. I mean, I have a cat who would probably eat it, but
yeah.
Cats and children.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was a Valentine's Day craft with just packets of glitter, and I'm like, 3 homeowners from now, this house would have glitter in it.
Yep. Even if they change the carpet. Be like, why is there glitter on our new wood floor?
Yeah, they could do a total gut job, and it would be like 2 specks of glitter in the kitchen from God only knows where.
Oh man. So what do you have something in your cup? What have you had?
I don't even have a fucking cup. I just had a giant ass bottle of Rogue Dead Guy Ale, which is, because I know everyone's wondering, my favorite beer.
Yes.
Rogue Dead Guy Ale is a my box style ale, I'm saying that wrong, with a robust malt profile and a sweetness that is balanced by the liberal use of bittering hops. 6.8 alcohol by volume. Dare, risk, dream. Dead Guy Ale.
And it's good because I don't like it, so there's more in the world for you.
Yes.
Yeah, it is too hoppy for me.
Rogue Brewing is, they're pretty fucking solid.
Yeah, they have really cool artwork. Like, I wish I could just get their bottles. This could be a good thing. I could just have you drink it and then send me the bottles.
Good. This is a 1 pint, 6 full ounce bottle. And I should have gotten 2 of them. Because then I could have recreated Edward Forty Hands from How I Met Your Mother. Though I don't think you're supposed to do that with an $8 bottle of beer. It's okay. What's in your
Details.
cup? Yeah.
Some Argentinian red blend wine that I found that was normally like $16 that was for 10, and I was like, yes, I will take that. It's pretty good.
Nice.
And it was a twist off, which, you know, before it was always like, if it's a twist off wine, it's not worth your time because it's probably
right.
gross.
We just talked about this like a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
There's the levels.
Yes, that's true. I forgot we did talk about this. But I think apparently I'm still in shock because I'm like, oh, I'm starting to like some of the twist off wines. Maybe I'm not so snobby after all.
Or, you know, we're less than a month post 2020 and our expectations have changed. I had the weirdest experience today.
What's that?
I went to Target. We needed toilet paper. I bought toilet paper. I only bought one thing of toilet paper, and I had many different brands, styles, and fluffy levels of toilet paper to choose from.
You did.
It was the most mundane and exciting toilet paper buying experience I've ever had.
Wow. No, like it's funny because like here I feel like, although I don't know, because I bought toilet paper and I forgot that I bought toilet paper. So then like the next day I went out and or the next week I went out and bought more toilet paper and I brought it home and I was like, oh, I already had toilet paper. Because I'm smart. But so I haven't needed toilet paper in a little while, but like they've been out of my paper towels forever. Because I'm like we're snobby with our paper towels. We like the Viva ones. Probably not that snobby because I can't remember the name.
The very soft, almost stretchy
soft
ones.
Yes, and they're cloth-like, and yeah, they were out of them. And then the last time I went, it was the only brand of paper towels, which was weird. So, but anyway.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, world may be trying to turn to normal if we don't actually look at any numbers of things on the internet, and I am happy with that ignorance. I will accept it.
Yes, ignorance is bliss.
I mean, seriously, that's what I learned last year. Happy 2020. Stay dumb, y'all.
Look, and 2021's already off to a better start.
It is. You have a fancy ass closet.
I do. I'm recording in my closet, by the way, because it's the best spot in my house.
So many people do.
Yeah.
If my closet wasn't tiny and strange, I would probably record in my closet because there would be less stuff for me to fidget with and make extra noise. But my closet is tiny and strange. Your closet is like fancy.
It's very fancy now. Yeah, no, we bought the house back in October now, and our big splurge was fancy closet shit. And I've been thinking to myself, we shouldn't have bought the fancy closet shit because it put us over budget. But now that we have the fancy closet shit, I'm like, I would fucking do that shit again.
When I die, just put my crypt right here in the back. I don't think that's a vice, though. Like, we're looking at buying more bookshelves. Be shocked. And we're not buying the $700 bookcases from Pottery Barn I want. We're probably buying some locally made all wood ones and then finishing them ourselves. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like this is a splurge. This is a vice. Having fancy bookshelves is a vice. No, it's not. You need a place to put your shit.
Mm-hmm.
If it's your clothing shit, if it's your book shit, if it's your art shit, like having a place to put your shit is not a vice. Maybe buying the $700 Pottery Barn ones, depending on your income level, is a vice. Maybe. Mm-hmm. But just fucking buying a fucking functional thing to fucking put your shit in, this is not a vice. This is not bougie. No shade on furnishing your home from the thrift store. Been there, done that like 4 times. When and if you get to a point in life that you don't have to, there is often this weird guilt that comes with, this isn't the cheapest thing I could buy from Walmart that'll break in 20 minutes. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. No. Because you will, like, be sitting in your closet 7 years from now and be like, fucking hell, I'm glad we upgraded our drawers to the easy slide fancy bougie nonsense.
If they break next week, I'm going to be so pissed.
Oh, I hope you got some kind of warranty.
Oh, no. There's a warranty on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
But still, I'll still be pissed. Be like, what the hell? What are you reading?
I just started reading literally just started reading the next one in the Potentate of Atlanta series by Haley Edwards. And I'm having a hard time getting into it, which is a pain in the ass because I love Haley Edwards and I really like this series, but I have such a massive fucking book hangover from Blood Hair that, like, I can't function. I've reread my favorite scenes like 4 times.
Blood Hair?
Blood Hair. Air? Blood Air.
Yeah. You've already reread scenes?
H-E-I-R. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've reread like half of it. Kate Daniels' World. So, Ilona Andrews, We Stand Forever. This was one of the side characters that you meet in the second or third book in the Kate Daniels series. I've read them all multiple times, but they just kind of blend together into one narrative arc after a while. There's like what happens before this book and what happens after that book. In one of the earlier books, Kate takes this job where this girl can't find her mom. And, spoiler alert, mom gets hella deaded. And she ends up adopting the girl. The girl's name is Julie Olson. Whole lot of shit happens. It involves dragons and sorcery and ancient dad wizards. And so Julie grows up and she's basically Kate's kid. But she doesn't call her mom. At one point in the story, they form a very deep bond out of necessity, and then it's later severed, and Julie is left with like this gaping hole in her soul from having that soul bond destroyed. And so when she's 18, she leaves Atlanta and she eventually works her way out to the West Coast with her, she calls her grandmother, but she's Kate's aunt, and she's a resurrected ancient queen of Shinar. And Julie has always been one of my favorite characters. You literally see her grow up in the story. And she goes through some dumb shit like any kid does, but she becomes this really strong, independent person. And even with the soul bond, Kate lets her be that. Their relationship hasn't been perfect, but she was one of my favorite characters in the book. And this new series that Blood Heir started is centered around Julie. She comes back to Atlanta after 8 years because of some bad guy fuckery. She has absorbed the eyeball of an immortal god that lives off of child sacrifice.
Okay.
He's mentioned in the Old Testament. It's totally legit. And her name is Aurelia Ryder now. She is Era's heir and Princess of New Shinar on West Coast. She hasn't seen Kate in 8 years. And she can't see her or Kate will die because there is a prophecy. So Aurelia, Julie, has to go back to Atlanta and take care of shit. The beer is hitting me now because I'm talking slower. Real sorry. So she has to go back to Atlanta and handle shit without going home, which is very difficult. But she looks different and she smells different, and she thinks that no one will recognize her. So Kate's husband is Curran. Curran used to be the head of the second largest shapeshifter pack in the United States. And Curran took in this kid who had a really shitty life, basically adopted him as his little brother. His name is Derek. Derek and Julie were BFFs for the series, and there was always some sort of tension there, but Julie was at least wise enough and mature enough to be like, if I tell him I am in love with him, everything's going to be awful, so I will not do that. When she left, she didn't say goodbye, and they cover why in the book in this really great scene. 2 years after she left, Derek left, and also has a new name, and looks kind of different, but is very obviously still Derek. And I have so many feelings about these characters. This is the book Hangover. They basically are working the same case, and they start dancing around each other, and she pretends she doesn't know who he really is because she thinks he doesn't know who she really is. And then it all culminates at the end, and there's a thing, and they announced today that there would be 2 more books in the series because this was one of their highest debuts ever. It was an instant bestseller. It's on the New York Times bestsellers list. It's self-published.
No shit.
Yeah, I may have bought a corporeal copy and a Kindle copy. Might buy more. So excited. I am fucking invested in these people that are technically not real. So I just, and I almost hesitate to start the new book because I don't want to, it's the end of a series. It's the end of a series and another character that I am really invested in. Haley Edwards is an incredible writer, and like I really want to get involved in this book and do it justice. Moment of Truth, that's what it's called. I think of them as the Potenate series, number 5, Moment of Truth. And I really want to like give it its full focus and intention and justice. But I keep thinking about Derek ripping a creature's heart out of its chest and taking a bite, and what that means on like 15 levels. And I can't. I have a book hangover.
Oh, that's a really bad book hangover too.
It is one of the
intense.
worst book hangovers I have had in years. For serious. When I read the second to last Kate Daniels novel, I did not have this book hangover. When I read A Court of Frost and Starlight, which gives us like a chapter of Nessian at the end, and I am straight up Nessian trash at this point. Like, not the same amount of book hangover that I am having. I have way more feelings than a 35-year-old lady should have about these characters. So many feelings that I will not read or participate in fan fiction because I am limiting myself to canon only.
Wow.
Right? Right? What are you reading?
Well, it's not quite as, I mean, it's good, but it's not quite that exciting, maybe. No, I'm actually, it is good. I'm reading, the second installment of the Darkest Dray series, Shadow Wings. And actually you sent me book 1, on my Kindle, and I loved it. And I was like, I have to get the second one. And it's taken me, like 2 years now. And it's,
stuff happens.
Stuff happens. But what the cool thing about reading this book is, I'm actually doing it through Audible. And I tried Audible, and I didn't think it was going to work for me personally, just because I was like, oh, well, the only time I could really listen is in my car. And most of the time, if I'm in my car, my kids are with me, and, they don't need to read the same fiction I do. So... No. There's some carnage in that series. Yeah. So, although I don't know, maybe it would just kind of go over their head, and then they would just hear one word, and then they would have to ask about it.
You would get questions about, Mommy, why is she drinking the magic dragon juice?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm fine. Like, and then it dawned on me. It was kind of one of those light bulb moments that you're like, the fuck did I not think about this before? But I was doing laundry and no one was around, and I was just like, I'm gonna listen to my book.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so
God, laundry sucks.
it does. But listening to Audible and the Shadow Wings book has made it better. So I actually like made it through like 2 or 3 chapters the other day, and it was nice. I do have to say that some of the audio parts are kind of difficult because it's so much of reading, is like the voice you give the characters, and like
Right.
and so hearing somebody else voice those things, there's a couple scenes where I'm just like, I don't know, like I'm the audio or the voice of the narrator kind of pulls me out of the story a little bit. It's happened a couple times.
I wonder if it would be that bad if you hadn't already read the first book
True.
on your own. Does that make sense?
It does. No, I'll just have to. My dad's been asking me to. He's the one that actually got me into Audible. Because my dad, is not much of a reader, but he likes fiction. So he's like, so then he discovered Audible, and he's like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. So he shared like, I don't know, like 7 books with me. So now I need to go through those. It's got, I don't even remember the name, but it's got, and now I can't even remember the name of the mythical creature. But anyway, so Shadow Wings, it's pretty good. I don't remember a whole, like, I'm realizing that there's some of the details from the first book that are very slowly coming back to me. But it's good. I'm really happy to finally be reading it.
I feel like, so when an author, I'm sitting too far away. I feel like, so when an author covers too much of their previous book, their previous lore, here's a 10-minute recap in the beginning of a book, it drives me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to become normalized is cliff notes of the previous book and the following series. So if you need them, read them. If you don't need them, skip them.
Yeah.
Because the problem is when they leave them out. Like there was this book, I think it's called All That Glitters. Girl, thief, dragon, fall in love, bad guy. All things I like. And I was waiting for for a full year between books. And I now do not remember. I started reading it and I have, let me make sure it's not picking that up. It is a little bit. I waited a full year between books, which is totally reasonable. Diamond in the Rough by Vivian Savage and Domino Taylor. Daughter of Fortune, book 3. And they totally picked up right where the other one left off, which is great, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Except it's been a year. I don't remember what happened in the other fucking book. I don't want to read the entire other book. A Cliff Notes would be great because it's on my DNF list right now. I'll probably pick it up at some point later this year, but I'm already behind on my reading because I just have so many Derek and Julie feelings. Anyway. So I feel like there needs to be a happy middle. Like there needs to be a recap you can have if you want or if you don't need it. Because if I was picking up this series now and reading all 3 in order, which a lot of people do, I mean, that's how I read Throne of Glass. That's how we both read A Court of Thorn and Roses. Then it's not necessary.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess there's just no pleasing me. That's another way to put it. This is why we don't invite my husband on the podcast.
You're too picky. No.
I mean, yeah. So Shadow Wings, Ray Wagner, Kelly St. Clair. Kelly St. Clair, who you are coming to really like, is doing a novel with another writer I really like, Shannon Mayer, called A Court of Honey and Ash, or A Court of Ash and Honey, that comes out later this year. I am hella excited about this.
I have seen lots of promo for this.
Yes. I don't know if you want to read it, we can do a review together and talk about it. I don't know if you want to do a whole episode like we're going to do for A Court of Silver Flames and like we did for Midnight Sun. Maybe since it's a trilogy and this is the first book, maybe not, but I will definitely be doing at least like a personal little book review, or we can do a short one that's just like 10 or 15 minutes talking about it, because they're both amazing authors that write very strong yet vulnerable women, and I am very excited to read this.
Huh. I will look closer at the next promo. And here's the thing. Since I'm reading more and more and more, like I've always been a big reader. Yes, that one. But
The cover
she showed a
art is
picture.
amazing.
Yeah. I've always been a big reader, but now that, we're doing this, like I'm reading more and more. And it's almost like I find myself going, I need to stop looking at the 500 fucking books out there, because I have like 10 on my shelf that I need to get to. And my brain is just like, ah! And it's funny because it's not like, it's not the, like overwhelm, but it's like, I'm gonna buy all these fucking books and not be able to read them.
I mean, that's kind of where I am right now. And I know, because I know myself and I know my patterns, I know I'll have a month where I'll just like catch up and I will pour through a million books. Not to be like all weepy and stuff. I get headaches. I am a chronic migraine sufferer, and January just kind of kicked me in the butt. My head hurt for 7 days in a row, and not a lot of reading got done during that time. But I will have a month, probably June or July, where I just, like, I have a name for myself when I'm in this mood. In my head, I just become a story eater, and I'm just like,
Ooh.
give me more. I need more.
Ooh.
And I will burn through most of these books. But right now, House of Salt and Sorrows, it's an amazing book. It's really good. I am a third of the way through, and I haven't finished it because other books came out. And if it's a book in a series I really like, it gets bumped to the top of my to-be-read list.
Yeah.
And, whatever I'm reading when The Last Graduate comes out, whatever I'm reading when A Court of Silver Flames comes out, whenever I'm reading when the new J. Kristoff book comes out later this year, those things are just going to get pushed to the side. And so, like, I have a beautiful copy of Beyond the Beasts and Briars I haven't read. I have a beautiful copy of Fable I haven't cracked. I haven't cracked Addie LaRue, which we both have copies of.
Yes.
Haven't.
Yeah.
Really want to. Really excited about it. Haven't cracked it.
Yeah.
Read Blood Hair twice, though. I have feelings.
Priorities. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's good.
Anything Team Andrews does is probably going to be at the top of my queue.
Yeah.
And Haley Edwards is another one of those authors. And because I have such a book hangover, I can't get into Hadley's story like I need to.
Yeah, you just need to have an in-between. You need a rebound book before you go to your next big fling.
Almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Either that or I need to watch TV.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch some TV.
More Bridgerton. Again.
Yeah. Thank you. Next. Yes. Maybe. God, that show is amazing. Speaking of Bridgerton, shall we move on to vices?
We shall. That's actually my vice for the week. Because it
that
took me...
segue?
I did. That was amazing.
A good segue.
But no, it took me a long time, as you know.
It came out on Christmas, so I don't think it's that long.
I feel like it's been out longer. I really do. Just so
the books have been out for a decade, but
Fair.
I didn't know about the books before the series, so
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's a good series. My husband watched it with me, and it was I don't know, I was really impressed. And I had an idea of who Lady Whistledown was, and and then I doubted myself. And then the last scene when she was revealed, my husband was starting to snooze on the couch, as he does when we watch movies together. And I just got so excited that I was right the first time that I might have whacked him in the chest. It's just, whack. I knew it!
Whack-worthy moment. Totally
Yes.
a whack-worthy moment. I think everybody has a moment watching Bridgerton where they're like, this is when I figured it out.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't mention any of those because it's still...
No, this is
That'd be a
way
spoiler.
too new.
Yeah.
I don't think saying that Daphne and the Duke end up together is really a spoiler, because anybody with eyeballs sees at their meet cute that you're like, oh, they're gonna be banging in 2 episodes, and then yep.
My husband's like, this is turning into soft porn. I'm like,
It's art, motherfucker. Do you hear that Taylor Swift cover? Shut up. I mean, there was a lot of sex. But you know what I appreciated? That, like, they included things other than just the basic humpy intercourse where everyone's obviously wearing colored underwear.
Yeah.
There was interesting sex.
Yes. So what are your vices? Or what is your vice, I should say?
What is my vice this week? So I have posted about this a little bit on the internets. Williams-Sonoma has their version of an espresso machine on clearance for $40. And I have one. So that was amazing. That is amazing. My daughter now knows how to make espresso.
That is amazing.
It is.
I feel like that's worth the $40 right
she
there.
Is so talented. I mean, you put the capsule in and you push the button, and I love it. It's amazing. It makes a really, really good cup. Like, I would love to have a big fancy machine that you tamp yourself and all that jazz. I was a barista that had to hand tamp shots in high school, and you know, all that jazz. But when mama's non-functional, you put the cup in the thingy and it's got a full outline of the pod, so you can't fuck it up. And then you push the button and the wakey comes out, which is great. And I was really excited to try Milk Bar cookies, because Milk Bar is supposed to be like this big fancy thing. It's like the very pretty lady from MasterChef. She was one of the judges the first few years. And I got them to munch while I was reading Blood Heir. I also got a special bath bomb. Whatever. It's priorities. And, I mean, this is the book we thought Team Andrews would never write. And they wrote it. And we bought so many of it, they're writing 2 more. Like, this is the shit dreams are made of. Anyway, so I bought these Milk Bar cookies, and they were marshmallow cornflake, chocolate chip. And I was thinking, okay, so it'll be extra crunchy, or it'll have crunchies in it. And it'll be a little bit salty and a little bit corny to deal with the marshmallow, because why else would you add marshmallow to that unless it's to round it out? Like,
yes.
In theory, dark chocolate chips, marshmallow, cornflakes, cookie. These can be very good. It was just mushy, gross, sweet. They were awful. I was so disappointed. I threw away cookies.
Ugh, that bad.
I didn't even eat a whole one. I think my husband finished, because there were 4 packages of 2 in the box. 2 of the packages just got thrown away because they were gross. I'm just like, what? I was so disappointed. I could have fucking gotten Oreos. For real.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to go wrong with Oreos. But that's disappointing for sure.
Yeah, I was really disappointed. So, anyone listening, if you would like to tell me what your favorite bougie packaged cookie is that isn't... Well, and the other thing is, I could have gotten Pepperidge Farm Chesapeake cookies. Why didn't I do that?
You were being adventurous.
I know. Like, damn it. So, if any of you have bougie cookies that you love that are not Pepperidge Farm, let me know, because I was seriously disappointed in the Milk Bar. Just so disappointed. Much disappointed.
I will steer clear of them. I don't know. I'm on a Tate's Bakery.
They're so crunchy.
I don't normally like crunchy cookies. I'm much more of like the chewy, ooey gooey. But no, those are really good. I like them.
Yeah, they work though. Like, because it's not, is this supposed to be crunchy? It's, this is a crunchy cookie. And you're there for it. And they dip in coffee so well.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know anything about that.
You don't have problems.
Nope.
Coffee every day, booze every night.
And sometimes cookies for breakfast. I mean,
we grew up on boxed cereal. Yes.
Yeah, dude. Like, oh my god, I don't know. Sorry, my brain just did the whole blah thing because it made me think of the Cookie Crisp cereal, which is so good. I don't know if you ever had.
Yeah, with the little
Yeah.
dog that went cookies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I haven't been able to eat that cereal in in a while because there was one time we had weevils. I don't know if
Oh.
yeah, and so we discovered that we had weevils while I was eating Cookie Crisp cereal because I was like,
oh no.
why is that chocolate chip floating away and why does it have legs?
Oh no. Oh no. Oh.
So,
Oh, it's just some extra protein, honey, to balance the sugar.
Yeah.
It's fine.
it's all good.
It's fine. I mean, we know what they've been eating.
That's true. It was an episode because then we found them everywhere. So we had to throw away all the food. It was bad. It's really bad.
We got them once in our apartment and it was hell.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah.
And when you live in Florida, like, someone's gonna listen to this and be like, how do you get weevils? That's gross. How do you get cockroaches? That's gross. Bitch, live in Florida. You get all the bugs. And you can't help it. Like,
No.
because the state is basically a swamp that they paved part of to build Disney World.
Yeah. And
That's Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, pest control is not optional. It's just not.
No, it's not. No. And it's nice if you want to be like, let's go with the organic pest control, and you try, but unless you're getting treated twice a week, like, it will work. You have to be treated weekly or twice a week. You can't go with this monthly shit. It doesn't.
Bring on the flamethrower and the poison. We're good. This is how
Yeah.
we get rid of shit. So.
Yeah. I mean, and we try to be bougie about it and call them palmetto bugs. They're fucking roaches.
And they fucking fly.
Yes. And the ants fly. And if you blink twice, you'll get flying ants trying to make a colony in your baby's nursery on the ceiling because the front door was open for 10 minutes. Oh, Florida. The flaccid phallus of the United States. With a child's playground in the middle. Anyway.
We are talking about breakfast. We're not talking about bugs.
Right. Cereal would have been a great segue if I had gone with that.
I think I hijacked it with my Weevil story, to be fair.
That's true.
I couldn't not. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Cookies, breakfast, that's what I think of. I'm scarred for life. Okay, I'm scarred.
We can bring it around. Let's see. All right. So, cookies for breakfast.
Yes.
Speaking of cookies for breakfast, breakfast can be one of the best vices. Boom.
Absolutely.
There we go.
That was amazing.
I just said boom unironically. I need to drink faster or slower.
Faster. Chug it.
I mean, like, we tell kids, no, you can't have cake for breakfast, but then we eat muffins. And I'm just like,
yeah.
It's cake. It's frostingless cake. Oh,
Which to me
man.
is better.
We have this truck here called Mr. A's Beignets.
Oh my
and
god.
apparently the guy that owns it worked at Cafe Du Monde for like years and years and years.
How are you
And
not
so-
there like every weekend? Sounds amazing.
Yeah. Well, my svelte figure. They're amazing. And on some weekends, I will go get some and then I will come home and I keep chicory. You can get just chicory, not mixed with coffee, just chicory. And I have some in the cabinet like all the time because if I'm making a pot of decaf, I might as well just make chicory, honestly. And so sometimes I do. But I'll go to Mr. A's Beignets and get a box, and then I'll come home and make a French press of chicory coffee, and it is takes me to a good place, my friend.
Yes. Oh, so good. Where were
we gonna go for our girls' trip this year? Because I really just want to go back to New Orleans and eat.
Yeah.
Eat.
I think we're gonna
see
hit
a graveyard and then eat.
It's kind of hard to beat that. We were gonna do Austin, which I hear is awesome, but we went on a girls' trip to NOLA, and yeah, that was epic.
I had so the breakfast we had the first day there. We went to not the French Quarter Cafe du Monde, but the one in a mall that overlooked the river.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was beautiful.
It was.
And then, so tell our listeners about the house we stayed in, because I feel like this is a really important part of the story. The Gundam house.
The what house?
The Gundam house. That's what they're called. I finally remembered. Gundams. The figures he had.
I thought it was Voltron. Is it
Was it? Wait.
I think it was Voltron. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's but I don't know. So they're figurines, and yeah, we stayed at a friend of mine's house. Yeah, we this guy I know from there's a music festival that goes on a cruise ship every year, and my husband and I went on that ship.
That is the most PG telling of that story. Good job.
And I'm trying. I'm just like I'm doing the hand gestures to make it kind of like it's a boat. Yeah.
It's a boat and no one ever has any party favors. It's not the point at all. It's just lots of EDM.
It was amazing. Made lots of connections, lots of friends. So anyway, this friend lives in New Orleans, or did at the time, and I was asking him about, like, hey, what should we do? And it's like, where are you staying? And I was like, well, we don't know yet. And he's like, hey, well, I'm not going to be there, so you could stay here. And it was amazing. It was awesome.
It was totally cool.
Yeah.
And saved us a bunch of money.
It did.
That we spent on booze.
Yeah.
Dutifully.
Yes. No, so, like, it was cool because, like, it wasn't a hotel. It wasn't, like, I mean, Airbnb is, you have your hit or misses with those. It's usually pretty good. But no, it was just really cool, and it was very personable. Like, he took us around the first night and stuff. So yeah, but it was good. And it set the tone for just having a really chill weekend. And a lot of that revolved around booze and food. But
yeah.
And breakfast.
I can't remember what the name of the diner is called. I want to say it was the Silver or something. But so the dude had like the largest Voltron collection in the United States or some shit. Mm-hmm. Which was really cool. Not my thing, but you know how you can look at something and be like, that's really fucking cool. I know nothing about it. I have no desire to know anything about it, but I can respect that you go deep into your nerd, and I love that about you.
Yes.
And so I distinctly remember coming downstairs. I think it was the night after the cruise. No, it was the morning of the day we went on the cruise. It was the day after the graveyard, is what it was. And we went to Bacchanal that night. That's why we were hungover. It was the morning after Bacchanal. And we were fucked. And you were standing there in like the hallway of Voltrons, and you're just like, we bought breakfast stuff, but I'm not cooking. Let's go somewhere with cocktails. And we did. And it was one of the best breakfasts I've ever had. It's great.
All the food there is amazing. I was so happy.
I don't think we had anything bad while we were there.
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
And so it's cool. Like, breakfast can be a favorite bowl of cereal. It can be a frostingless cupcake. It can be something really healthy like egg whites on a whole wheat tortilla wrap with artisanal local cheese. Great. Like, happy for you, bro. I'm mocking my husband because that's basically what he has every morning, except he doesn't have whole wheat tortillas. If you're one of those lifting heavy things people, it could be a smoothie of various fruits and powders, or it can be like this bougie, vice-laden, glorious thing. We like breakfast so much we made extra time in the day for it and call it brunch.
Yes.
And everybody gets fucking excited when you're like, we're having breakfast for dinner.
Yes. I love breakfast for dinner because it's easy. You're like, fucking easy and it's amazing.
Yes.
Can't go wrong.
Like, when we were in that group where we met each other, how excited would we get when we were all getting together for dinner at someone's house and they're like, we're having chocolate chip pancakes.
So
They would just
fun.
pull out the huge Krusteaz bag of pancake mix that they got at Costco and the griddle and just make
Oh.
everyone pancakes at 7 p.m. Dude,
So good.
yes.
Plus, if it's after like 11, it's okay to drink because you can have mimosas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or if it's your wedding day, no one gives a fuck.
No one gives a fuck.
No fucks given.
And if they do, that's on them. So.
Yeah. Sorry about your weird moral conscience. Maybe have some happy juice.
I know it'll get rid of that. Have a drink.
Yeah, exactly. But I love breakfast is absolutely my favorite day, which is funny because normally when like breakfast is my favorite category of food, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like eating when I first wake up.
I
need at least an hour.
You need an hour?
Like, yeah. I'll have coffee. Like, you can put coffee in my hand when I wake up. More birthdays than not since we've been together. My husband has had a pumpkin spice latte for me on my birthday in the morning, waiting for me when I wake up. And I am like all about that. But don't, like, if you put a plate of bacon and perfect waffles with strawberry jam and butter in front of me right as soon as I wake up, I'm probably just going to throw up on you. It's not my thing. But give me an hour. And not only that, I've already been up an hour. Let's have mimosas. If we're going out.
Yeah, I usually do coffee first thing in the morning too. Like, I feel like that's like, all right, let's establish the day.
Yes.
But I do have to eat something in the morning. Otherwise, my day does not work as smoothly as I want it to.
I do need to eat something in the morning. And the days that I don't, like if my husband is still cooking breakfast, I'll be like, cook me one egg. And I don't really like eggs anymore. Like sometimes I do. But just having like the 3 or 4 bites that are a single egg shoved into my body first thing in the morning, my brain works better.
Mm-hmm.
Systems come online with less glitching. But I don't want to, if that makes sense.
It does.
It's like, that's too much effort. I will wake up. I will make him eggs. I don't do this usually, but it happens sometimes. His work schedule is that he has free mornings and then he works until 9 p.m. So like when we have family meals together, he does take his lunch break at dinner time. But when we have like a sit and relax and talk about stuff, family meal together, it's breakfast.
Yeah. That
And
makes
so
sense.
every day he has off, we do breakfast together. We make it a point to. And he and the kid do breakfast together most mornings. And I will wake up and I will make my kid breakfast. Like if I wake up before him, and I'll make him breakfast. And then I'll be standing there drinking my 3rd cup of coffee like, I wonder why my stomach hurts. No idea. Sip, sip, sip.
That's funny because I'll usually make my kids like sometimes we'll do the full family sit down breakfast, but it's usually on the weekends. But
Your
like
husband does the best breakfast.
he does. He has the best breakfast. He really does. But yeah, no, like so I'll make them breakfast and then it's like I'll have breakfast and then they'll be like, I want something, blah blah blah, and I will try hard not to yell at them, but the sentiment is fucking leave me alone until I eat these eggs.
I have seen to all of your needs. Give me space.
I need 5 minutes to scarf this down and then I will be happy mommy. But right now, no. But yeah, no, going back to my husband, I know that like we've had this conversation before just about like he's Colombian and he makes arepas, which is a thing I didn't know about. Yeah, but they're like crispy. For those of you who don't know, first of all, there's like 20 different ways to make arepas, probably more than that. But like his are very thin and crispy, and they're like a tasty device for getting food into your system. Like chicken, beef, vegetables, cream and cheese,
scrambled eggs, Fruit.
over medium eggs, anything. Fruit. Ooh, I don't think I've had fruit on my Oedipus, but I feel like that would be good.
So yeah, he does it up, and we haven't lived in Florida in 2.5 years, and my kid is still like, next time we go to Florida, I want your child's daddy to make us breakfast. And I'm like, okay. Probably not, but okay.
Oh, we'll make it happen.
Like, I know we came to go to Disney World, but we're coming to your house for breakfast. And I think one of the things about breakfast when we look at like literature and stuff is, excuse me, ear burps. Sorry. I think one of the things about breakfast is that unless you're so addicted to coffee, you just want to drink coffee and not have breakfast in the morning. Everyone has breakfast mostly. And so it's really a sign of like where you are in life mentally, where you are with your self-care, where you are socioeconomically, is what kind of breakfast you have. And so you see this a lot in books. Like, the hobbits were not poor, and they took their food real serious, and they had 2 breakfasts and 11sies.
Yes.
Which is, they had 2 breakfasts and brunch is what we call that now. You know, and when you have a character like in some classic literature that's like at a boarding school or something, and they're getting some unappetizing looking slop for breakfast. Like, we know we have to feed you, we guess. Or in a Kate Daniels world, food amongst shifters plays a really important role. And so like there's this one scene in one of the later books where she's making breakfast and all these people from the pack just keep showing up. And so she's like, Julie, hand me another potato. Julie, we need more bacon. And then when they all sit down to eat, they're silent. Nothing happens while you're eating. You just eat. It's a singular focus. It's a really important thing. And you eat. That's all you do when you're an animal shifter when you're eating, is you eat.
How weird.
It makes sense if you've ever met a cat.
Fair.
It's
fair. It's fair.
And I feel like so much of a story can be told through these secondary things, like just how they start their day and how they take care of their body at the beginning of the day, and how they can afford to take care of their body at the beginning of the day.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I think not only does it give you a lot of that background information, but it also, like, I noticed that meals also kind of push the story forward. They're kind of like they oil the scene so that it just flows a lot smoother.
Yeah, it gives you something to do with your hands. Basically.
Yeah.
Like, I just reread A Court of Thorn and Roses over the last couple months in preparation for Silver Flames. And when they're visiting the summer court, the dinners that they have are really important. Conversations they have around dinner do a lot for the plot.
You haven't read Crescent City yet, right?
It's the only Moss book I haven't read yet, I believe.
When you do, I think there's a few hot scenes around the kitchen. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Sorry, I was just thinking about that. Thinking about that scene now. I'm like,
You can elaborate. I mean, I'm gonna read it. I actually have a copy coming from Amazon tomorrow.
Oh, yay!
To add to my to-be bread tower. It's not just a TBR, it's a TBRT. It's a to-be red tower.
No, she, like, you could tell she's really, like, now, like, I read Crescent City first, but, like, that was my first Moss book, but, going, like, when I read, Court of Thorn and Roses, like, you could just tell her craft has definitely just, I don't know, she's just oh my god, language. She's just really honed her craft a lot. And so a lot of the scenes really build up on just that anticipation you know, and she doesn't tell you that it's anticipation. She shows you that it's anticipation. So, I don't know. It's really
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Throne of Glass is very good, and it's definitely worth reading. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You can definitely tell she got better between Throne of Glass and particularly the later Court of Thorn and Roses books. And supposedly, A Court of Silver Flames is going to be the steamiest book she's ever put out.
Ooh.
Here for it.
Me too.
Yeah.
So we were talking about scenes with breakfast or with food in general. It was interesting, you know, talking about coffee first thing when you wake up, when you read the Immortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. It's really cool to see how, like, just coffee plays a role. They've got their favorite coffee spots, and it's just such a big, like, there's one where she gets in a truck and, like, she's handed a cup of coffee and, like, it just makes her day better. And actually, the little scoop I use for my coffee grinds and to put in my French press has a quote from that book on it, and it's which I'm gonna quote wrong now, but it's like, I like my coffee black like my soul. And it's got that imprinted on it, and it's amazing. I got it in one of my book boxes, which I can't remember which one. I think it was Litjoy, but I could be wrong.
We have so many book boxes.
We too.
Really looking forward to our book box episode.
Yeah.
We put our first book box review up on the blog last week before last, at some point in January. And this episode will be aired on the first Tuesday in February. But yeah, we're really getting into book boxes in the book box world, and I've been getting book boxes since June of last year. Mm-hmm. Some very clear favorites have emerged, and they were not what I was expecting. So, yeah. Very excited for that episode and conversation, which will be happening in a month or two. But I like when they include things like that are useful in everyday life, like a coffee scoop.
Yeah.
I have one, Owl Crate did one a couple months ago that had this thing called a bowl koozie or cozy, which is basically like a shaped oven mitt sort of that your bowl sits in. And I got it and I was like, this is the dumbest thing. I'm never going to use it. I use that shit all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. It sits in the drawer with my hot mittens for the oven. Wow. Oven mitts.
Oven mitts, yes.
Oh, it is later than I expected it to be. It sits in the drawer with my oven mitts, and I use it all the time, and the kid uses it all the time. And there was something else that I got recently that I use pretty frequently that isn't a coffee mug, which is surprising. But yeah, I'm really enjoying like the everyday usable stuff in the book boxes, especially kitchen stuff. Brings me joy.
Agreed.
Yes. So yeah, I think breakfast is really important from a literary standpoint, and I feel like in life it's one of my favorite vices. Like, one of the things we always talk about when we plan our trips is, where do we want to go for breakfast? What coffee shops do we want to hit? This place does breakfast all day, so we can go there for breakfast, and then we can go there for lunch and get second breakfast.
Yes. 11sies.
Yes. With mimosas.
Yes. Or some other alcohol.
Yeah. You know, as long as there's juice, it's fine. So we would love to hear what your favorite breakfast is. Breakfasts are. The plural of breakfast is awkward. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Paper and Vices. If you want to email us, it's victoria@paperandvices.com or lee@paperandvices.com. And yeah, just tell us if you have anything specific you want us to talk about, or a book series you think we'd really like. We'd love to hear that. But I would love to hear what like your favorite literary breakfast is, and what your favorite get in my belly, I want this all the time breakfast is.
In the meantime, don't be an asshole, smoke a joint, eat some breakfast, take care of yourself.
Hell yeah. This has been a production of Paper and Vices, copyright 2021. This episode is presented for entertainment purposes only, and any vice should be pursued only within the legal boundaries, common sense, and personal responsibility of each person. Please check your local laws. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the individual hosts and guests only and do not in any way represent the views of Paper and Vices LLC or any named persons, nor should they be considered personal, medical, or legal advice. Previous episodes and other commentary can be found at paperandvices.com.